welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. And today is day 7 of our holiday card series, and we're going to be making some quick and simple cards that are easy to mass produce. I did a similar one last year or the year before, where we make the card look like a gift box with wrapping. So I picked out some pattern papers. These ones I got from the dollar store last year. They were from Dollarama. It was $1.50 for 24 sheets. It's just a bunch of kind of like vintagey patterns. Some of them have foil on them, and some of them are just random patterns. And then this, I feel like some of these, like this one here, it's super cute print, okay? And there's like so much foil on this, but I feel like some of them, like obviously they ended up at the dollar store because there's like the registration marks were off or something, like the lineup on the foil layers for some of them didn't turn out, which is, you know, why some things end up at the dollar store sometimes, but it's still cute. I wouldn't mind using it for a card. It just kind of adds to a little bit more of a handmade look. But yeah, there's some really fun prints in here. Again, lots of foiling and like vintagey patterns. So I did this snowflakey one so that we have a blue colorway, and then I really like this like Santa snowman tree present one with all the red foil on the gray background. It's really, this is just an honorable mention one. I'm probably gonna do an extra one of these off camera for someone either at work or somebody else. I work at a company that does dog apparel, so this would be like fitting for anybody at the office, or you know, anybody else who likes dogs. And then I pulled out my scrapbook.com glitter papers, just because we're going to be making the strips for the like ribbons out of these. I think last year when we did it, we did ribbon bows. This year we're just going to use paper. You can use any glitter foiled cardstocks you have. I'm just going to use these up. They're not the greatest for die cutting, but they are good for strips. And you can die cut them with some difficulty I've had, but so yeah. So we're not going to be doing the bows, but I'll just do 2 strips, and then we'll be using this Peking Snowman tags from Simon Says Stamp. I bought this last year. And we'll just pick a few of the snowmen. I think for this one, I'm going to use this snowman because he kind of matches the one that's here already. It like has the hat, the scarf, the mitts. And then there's just a couple candy canes, so I'll use that one for that. And then maybe for this one, we'll use this guy with the top hat because it's a little bit more classic Frosty. But anyway, I will move over to my voiceover, and you can watch me whip up a few of these cards. Okay, so voiceover Liz here. So I cut these panels. They were both supposed to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 because I wanted them to fill a full card, but I accidentally cut the snowflake one to 4 and then by 5 1/2, and then I was like, oh crap, I did it the wrong size. So I ended up doing 4 by 5 1/4. So that one does have a bit of a white border, which is fine. I believe that's the way I did them the last time I did these. But, you know, it just shows 2 different ways that you can do this. You can leave the white border, or you can do the full card. I like the full card just because it kind of looks more like a gift. Like this gray one here with the Santas and the snowmen. But, again, either way works. I like both. And even with the snowflake one with the white border, it looks nice because of the white. It kind of brings that white in. The background on this pattern paper is like a little bit on the more like light gray side. So the white from the snowman and the tag will kind of like bring in that border color. But, you know, you do you, and do whatever size you want. You can even make it smaller and do a bigger matte layer. But for me, I think I prefer the full card front for this gray one that I did anyway. And then I was just kind of picking coordinating glitter papers to go with it. I was trying to find a green for this first one here, but it didn't, the color wasn't dark enough for me. Like, it's too bright of a green. So I just decided to keep with the red. It has red foiling on it anyway. so it kind of went with it. So there's like a lot of like red sparkle and foil on this landscape card. And then this other one, I decided to do it portrait style just because the tag is a bit longer. So I thought that it was a bit better of an orientation for that. And then same with the other one, like the other tag kind of goes more horizontal. So I did it in the horizontal position, which is what I normally do anyway for these types of cards. But you can, again, do it whatever way suits you or the images that you're doing. You can also, you don't have to use tag images, like these are specifically tag images, but if you want to just cut a tag and put a stamped image on it, that's fine. I think last year I used Mama Elephant's, I forget what it's called, but it's like it's a specific tag set as well. But usually if I put just like standard tags on cards, like I'll do a 2x3 rectangle, cut off the edges at the top so that it's got that clipped edge, and then put that on the card. It's a little bit larger. You could make a smaller one for sure. Like those are just what I use as like a standard tag size is usually a 2x3. But yeah, so again, this is just an idea for some quick and simple cards. The longest part is the coloring because it doesn't take long to cut, you know, panels, and then the strips I cut to 1/2 inch strips. I wouldn't do too much bigger than that. I would maybe stick between the 3/8 of an inch to 5/8 of an inch. And then I went halfway in between at the 1/2 inch mark because I didn't want it to take up too much of the card, and I didn't want it to cover too much of the pattern paper because the pattern paper is kind of also like the focal point of this. The tag is actually the focal point, but I wanted the pattern paper to shine. Again, we're making these look like gift boxes that have been wrapped. So the pattern choice, I would say, is kind of important. And then so is the tag choice. You don't want them to cover too much because you do want to show off that background, but you don't want it to be, you know, get lost on it as well. So that is why I went with these tags and why I kind of colored them to match. So even this little Santa here, you'll see when I'm coloring, I'm doing his hat red, I'm doing his mittens red, and then I'm even doing the same striping on his scarf than the snowman in the pattern paper itself. Like it's a white, green, red stripe. Mine are a bit more chunky because these markers, the way they work, they bleed out a little bit and they're a bit of a thicker brush nib. So the lines are a bit thicker and it's freehand. So they're not spaced correctly, but that's okay. It looks cute. I like it. And then for the other snowman, because there isn't one on there, I just kind of did standard frosty colors, but I kept it in like still the shades of blue. I was gonna add a red banner on his hat, but then I was like, okay, but there's no red on this pattern and I wanted to keep it in more blue tones. So I did his hat in like I do C7, C9 from the Copic collection, until I switch over to my Olos when those ones are done. But if you want to do black, do dark cool colors, or you can do dark warm grays probably too, but again, I use warm grays for specific purposes and I use cool grays for specific purposes. Usually when I'm coloring blacks, I'll do it in the cool grays. So anyway, I did the hat in the black, and then I did this like ribbon around it in a gray because I didn't want to bring that red in. And then for his mittens and scarf, I did it in like a navy blue. It still went with like the blue gray theme we're going for on that card. But it was enough contrast. It did not blending in or anything. So that's what I did for that. I'm also going to try to zoom in for coloring. I know I was doing that before, but sometimes I just like speed through editing and I forget to do that. I know a lot of people watch these on like smaller devices, so it's easier if I zoom in when I'm coloring if you want to watch that portion, just so you can see what I'm doing. Again, I don't do a lot of fancy coloring, 2 tones maximum. Sometimes I'll add in a third one, but not very often. And I like to keep it simple. It does the job. It doesn't need to be super fancy. Like I do love seeing those cards where people spend tons of time coloring, where they're using 5 different markers per color group and whatever, and like it looks nice, but I don't think it's necessary for me on cards to do it too much, but if that's what you're into, that's what you're into, right? If you enjoy the coloring process the most, then spend the most time on that. That's fine. For me, I enjoy the entire assembly of the card and I want to get to the outcome, so I don't want to spend hours on cards, and especially when I have so many to do right now because Christmas is coming very quickly and I have cards to make for my mom to give away, for my sister to give away, for me to give away, and I need to get lots done soon. So the quicker I can do things, the easier and the better, and I have done quite a few in the last few weeks and plan to do quite a few more in the next couple of weeks as well. So yeah, so keep it quick and simple for me anyway, and then you guys do you. I go to restamp these. Sometimes I forget to do that. I think I forget to do that in the next video or two. I did all of this week's videos in one day. Last year I did all of my videos for the 12 videos that I did in 2 days. This year I've not had the time to do that because I've been working on other things and switching things over from my website to my Etsy and whatever, because I was originally going to take a week off in October to work on this series and I didn't get to it. But anyway, that's me and my time management. I also needed a break and some relaxed time, so we got that done for sure. And we'll try to be a little bit more organized next year and maybe even try to get videos done throughout the year when I'm working on my holiday card hijinks, this hashtag or something. But anyway, I cut these out of my brother's Scan and Cut. It doesn't cut the holes, so I have this 1/8 inch hole punch that I bought on Amazon a couple of years ago. I needed it for making tags because the standard hole punch I think is 3/8 or a quarter. It's probably a 1/4 inch. I'm not sure. But I think it's probably a 1/4 inch, but just too big for me. I like to do smaller holes in my tags, and I have so much of this embroidery floss from a cross stitch that I was originally going to do, and I was just like, no, this is too much. So I kind of gave up and decided not to do that. So I have all of this embroidery floss. I do little cross stitch projects here and there just for like magnets and stuff, something small, because I like to do projects where I can complete them in a day, other than like crocheting sweaters and stuff that takes a long time. But anyway, I like to use 2 colors every time I tie a tag, and I did red and green for this one, blue and white for the other one. I think it just looks nicer when you use more than one color, but again, you do you. But yeah, so those are our cards for today, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe because I'd love to have you here. And follow me over on Instagram and Facebook for additional content. And until next time, thanks guys. Bye.